So I just watched Bo Burnham's special or new comedy special Inside, and I'm feeling a lot of things right now, honestly. Things like happiness, inspiration, depression, anxiety, but also a feeling of hope because it was probably, in my opinion, the most genuinely articulated expression of a person that I've seen in a very long time. Because I'm not going to get into a ton of, just shit about, oh, the world's uncreative, it's crashing and burning because who gives a shit and everything. Live in your own world, just don't give a flying fuck what's going on outside of it. That actually doesn't sound all too well, but it felt like such a release of, because I usually have a very short attention span. It's just, the unfortunate, I guess generation, whatever that I grew up in, and I just have a short attention span. But nothing is ever usually able to hold my attention, but I was able to sit through this the entire time. Like, there was not a single second where I checked how much time was left, which is usually very common with Bo's stuff, is I never check how much time is left because he always has this way of holding you that I'll get to, a little bit in the video. But it just held me all the way through because of many, many factors that, he was able to hold me throughout and everything. And like I said, it was probably the best piece of art that I've ever seen. And it makes even just, weird because I wanted to make a video on me breaking down the songs and the meanings of which just fucking why. Because it's art. It's, subjective comedy, which, sometimes it can be, sometimes it can't be, but I fucking don't know. But I felt kind of weird doing that and kind of, I'm not sure if pretentious is the right word or anything, but just why would I make a video breaking down every song when, all I could ever do was just even say in this video what, some meant to me, because obviously, it's not that I don't remember a lot of the songs, it's I can't, just break them down without, seeing them all in front of me or anything, which is no point of just doing that. But just, it's everyone's, what they want to interpret every song as, what they think. So why would anyone give a shit about my opinion on what, a song means? So I'm not going to do that and everything. This is going to be my only video on Inside. And also I was very conflicted on how to edit this video or anything, whether to make it me off to the side, me in the center of the frame vertically, or just the picture or poster in the middle of the screen. But I'll probably just do the poster in the middle of the screen just to make it very simple. So let's get into the main parts of this special, the main 3 parts of it. There's the songs, the stand-up comedy, and, in my opinion, the realness of, the whole special. So I personally think the songs were just amazing. A lot of them had lots of messages behind them, which feels very weird to say since then, the whole, special, he did address how, not all of us, the meanings behind the songs, and sometimes, people think I have, a lot to say behind the songs or anything, and I was just, and just stuff I can't even remember or anything, not what he said, but what I was gonna say right there, but because I only have very few notes just on what the fuck to say in this, not everything. But a lot of the songs had just really good meanings that I liked, whether they were just supposed to be funny, whether they were supposed to be serious, whether they were just just supposed to be there and everything. I liked every single song, and just I said, the meanings behind them, especially songs I think white woman's Instagram or whatever and everything, how it's just a bunch of making fun of that and everything. I'm not necessarily sure if making fun's the right word or anything, but just mocking that. Unpaid intern, welcome to the internet, There's just lots of good songs. I can't remember specifically, even though I just have a shot memory and everything, but I think all of the songs were great. There was tons I loved, and it felt like it went from, it was very different from a lot of his other specials because there simply wasn't an audience. So there's more songs than, like, you know, stand-up aspects and everything, which I liked it and everything. I completely fucking liked it and everything. Like, there was not a single, like, moment I didn't like about that. So yeah, all amazing songs, tons of great meanings and everything. There's other stuff that I wanted to just almost talked about and everything that I didn't want to talk about later in the video and everything with the songs. But the songs were great and everything. Even how sometimes the songs would stop and completely, like, you know, go into another song or into a completely different scene or subject. The stand-up comedy aspects were, like I said, very little, but I felt like a lot of the stand-up and comedy aspects were even in the songs, but where the moments stopped and he got like the chance to say something in a genuine stand-up, like, you know, just routine or, like, you know, area. I felt those were really funny. I think I genuinely liked those, especially where he was like, you know, where he's like, can't we ever just like, and this is going to seem very hypocritical that I like this and everything when I'm doing this, but where he's like, can we ever for an hour just not talk anyone about anything, like, you know, share our opinions about anything, which is very hypocritical of me and anything since I like that message or anything, but yeah, I'm making a video about how I feel about something. I'm not just shutting the fuck up about it. Which, you know, at the end of the day, we could all be hypocrites to anything and everything. Not that that's a good thing or, like, you know, like, that means our meanings. I don't even fucking know what I'm saying. But yeah, I liked a lot of the messages in the stand-up comedy. And also, like, I know I'm going to be saying messages a lot and everything. Messages, emotions, deepness. But also, they're all very funny and everything. Like, they all are funny and everything. But I feel like I was able to sit through, let me just get on to the next talk before I get, like, all into that. The realness of this was as real as it gets and everything. Like I said, probably the most genuine thing I've seen in a very long time. And the realest thing I've seen in a very long time. Like, moments, the most tourist real moments and everything were probably him when he, like, you know, was trying to record this line of how he hasn't, like, you know, made a special in, I think, 5 years, or how you want to release. I completely forgot, but I do remember the exact moment where he was talking about all of that and everything, and then he just couldn't get it out, which happens to me all the fucking time while recording. Which is why I just, like, suck shit at uploading and everything, is because I can never get anything out. But then he got actually angry, which this could be a complete fucking joke. Like, he might have not gotten genuinely angry or anything, although I do think he did. But he got actually angry and started, like, you know, like, going, like, okay, let's do this again and everything. Let's do this again, right up until the point where he snapped and he, like, got up and he started, like, hitting some things around and everything. Which, like I said, was the realest thing. I could act like I'm, like, sitting here going, like, oh, now I know him and everything because of, like, you know, the moment. Which, obviously, I don't know him. All I know is he does stand-up. He's good at, like, you know, piano, and he has some emotions. That actually sounds very condescending, but, like, you know, I don't know him as a person, but that made me feel closer to him, which is just weird, in my opinion. It's just not, I don't know him as a person, but I could feel a relatability to him, which is kind of, yet again, something that I'm assuming he's, like, against, or, like I said, I don't know him and everything, so it's just, I felt relatable to that and everything, and I just, like, felt closer to him as that moment went on. Which just feels weird to say because I feel like that's something that he's against, is, like, you know, we don't know each other, so why would I feel related to him, or just, like, you know, like, I understand him. It's all very conflicting with how I feel versus the messages of, like, you know, him in the specials. But that in the moment after that, where it was kind of like, you know, him, like, breaking down essentially of, like, you know, saying, like, he's just not okay and everything, and the moment where it just zooms into the camera as he's breaking down emotionally, which, like I said, I'm not at liberty to, like, you know, express, like, you know, meanings or anything, but I felt that was kind of like how it was zooming into the, like, the camera and away from him. Actually, I'll just talk about all the shit meanings just at the end of the video and everything, which is a part that anyone could skip just because, like, you know, like I said, just shit where it's just, like, my opinions, which you could sit through it if you want or anything. I don't know why you would want it since it's my opinions, who gives a shit, but, you know. But production, editing, and just all of that was outstanding. And the fact that he did it all himself made it feel even more inspiring to me as someone who kind of, I would like to imagine that I'm a creative person, even though, like, you know, sometimes I don't put my abilities to the maximum, since I can just be completely fucking lazy, which, you know, being out of school now and everything, which I'll get to at the end of the video, I'm gonna have to really push the fucking throttles forward through. But I thought the production of, like, the lighting, the, like, just the setup of how everything is, the lighting, the camera work, all of that was just beautiful in my opinion. I genuinely thought all of it was done flawlessly. And it's, like, he even addressed this in it. It's all messy, but art is just, like, you know, and I'm kind of quoting a video I did see that we'll link down below in the description, which is just another amazing video about this special and, like, you know, just, like, you know, him in general. But it's meant to be messy. It's not meant to be understood by everyone or anything, because it's subjective, and it's just, like, art can be messy. Like, there's just tons of, like, art that I love and everything that's just messy. There's, like, an art piece I'll even throw up on screen that I love that's just messy. It's one that's very well known by everyone or anything, so I could be seen as having, like, casual taste in art. But I genuinely just like messy art and everything. And it's all messy, but it all is just wonderful in my opinion. It's like a beautifully produced, edited special and everything, with just the lighting, the songs, just how everything with the projectors on the background and just the messages inside of it. I really did like the editing in my opinion, especially with this one part where he was like, you know, how he was talking about how it is going to be messy and everything, and just, like, you know, kind of all over the place. And then he says, so don't expect smooth transitions, and he just completely cuts himself off from transitions. But like I said, the editing and production value of, like, lighting, the songs, and just, like, the projectors and, like, you know, the lighting and just everything, and the camera work, and just, like, all, like, how much you see the camera is just so much cool also, because it always reminds you of, like, this is being filmed by one person, so it feels a lot more personal in my opinion. That it made me feel that way. But also, I feel like a lot of the fact comes from this is that how Bo always talks about, or always has talked about, how he's a theater kid and everything. So I feel like that helped him a lot and everything with this. And just, like, when he talked about a lot of his other specials, how he's a theater kid, it always made me go, well, this is probably why he's just so good at this stuff and everything. Because I never grew up into theater. I was never a theater kid, but I've always been into just, like, you know, film, the production of what goes behind a film, and just all of that. So I'd like to imagine I relate to that in some form or anything, but like I said, the production value, the editing, just all of it is just fantastic. It's beautiful, it's art and everything, and it's just, there's nothing more I can say about it. Now, leading up to Inside, and this is kind of going away from the special aspect, but leading up to the special of Inside, there was a lot kind of about it that made me feel a lot of emotions. Like, Bo hasn't made a special in 5 years, I think it was, and everything, which he mentioned in a part where I said, like, he got very real. But he hasn't made a special in 5 years and everything, and during that time, I remember when I first heard he wasn't doing stand-up comedy again and everything, I was very sad. I felt very ununderstanding and kind of like a... God, I don't even know how to even pronounce it. Honestly, just, like, very not understanding. I was very sad. I was very confused, because he was someone who got me through a lot of hard times in life, which is just, it just feels weird to say and everything, to put that pressure on him and everything and all that type of stuff, and just, you know. But he did really help me genuinely through, like, a lot of experiences in life and everything, and just the hardest times of, like, freshman, like, high school and everything, because I didn't, like, discover him till, like, I think freshman or sophomore year in high school. But he did really help me through a lot of times. So when I found out he was not doing, like, stand-up anymore, I felt lots of very sad emotions and everything. But after watching the ending of Make Happy, because before I, like, you know, watched Make Happy is when I figured out that he wasn't making, like, you know, comedy specials anymore or anything, that I watched it, and I kind of felt a lot more understanding, but still very sad. But then I saw him on H3H3 podcast where he like, you know, talked about his anxiety, and I feel like at that moment my brain completely snapped, and I felt like I understood him a lot more, and like I felt very related to him. Like that's literally like he explained it all. Like I literally could connect to him. Like I said, it's very weird because I don't know him at all, but I did feel very connected to him, and just like I wasn't the only one suffering with anxiety of just everything. Like how he talked about how he felt like shit and everything. That's how I always felt like, you know, when I had anxiety and everything, and felt very close to just fucking breaking down and going insane in my head, and like, you know. And just all of that and everything, and how just after that I fully understood 100% and was fine with him never making anything ever again, because I was like, I understand that if he wants to go on and do something other than stand up and like, you know, all that stuff, I completely understood, and I just understood like everything that he said, and I was just like, he not only deserves to live his life how he wants to, but like after everything he's done for everyone, everything he's suffered through, which, you know, the whole thing of like, you know, the white male thing, the songs, and just like what has he suffered from. He probably doesn't feel like he suffered from anything, but I feel like he kind of did for our happiness and everything. But I felt like, you know, I felt like straight up he deserves to not do stand-up anymore because of how much he's done for everyone and everything, and how I understood his issues, and I was just like, I wouldn't want to do that anymore to myself, to make other people happy, to put myself through anxiety and everything. I would not want to do that to myself. So I completely understood, like, as soon as I saw that and everything, like, it was a slow stepping stone to understanding why he was never doing a comedy special again or doing stand-up ever again. And that's when I finally understood. And like I mentioned before, I would be fine with him going out and do, which I don't know why he would ever need my fucking approval, but I understood and was like, okay, he could go out and do anything else and everything. I would completely support it and everything. I might not be a fan of it, but I would completely support it always. And that's when I found out about 8th Grade, and I watched the movie, and I fucking loved it. It was an amazing film. I think it was Elsie Fisher, I think, was the actress and everything, and she did fantastic. It was a genuinely good movie that I liked and everything. I might make a review on that in the future and everything, but it was a good movie, and I felt like it was a good thing for him to do, because I would, like, you know, I would look at behind-the-scenes pictures and footage, and I'd be like, this is just awesome. It's stuff... It's seeing the behind-the-scenes process of a lot of things in what was an inside. I think was a lot of behind-the-scenes that inspires me as to be creative in life. But yeah, so he made 8th Grade. Then he announced Inside, and, you know, I was very excited and everything, and I was just felt very excited, and just a lot of emotions rushed through me as, like, you know, he said he was going to make another special, and just like the whole concept of, like, you know, being an inside shot by him, edited by him, and just all of that made me feel like this is going to be awesome. And to be perfectly honest, before I watched this, there were a lot of reviews saying, a lot of people that saying they didn't like it or didn't love it, and that made me very scared. And this was the thing they mentioned in the special, about how he felt pressured to always do everything right and second guessing, but I personally loved it, and those reviews mean nothing to me now, as I personally loved it. And I could sit here and saying I want him to do this again and make another special like this, but I can't, because there will never be another words. There will never be another what. There will be never be another make happy. There will never be another inside, which I'm alright with and I'm at peace with, because we'll always have this to go back to. And it's just a beautiful art piece of just, like, I can't even explain it, because it's just my opinion, and who gives a shit about it. But all I know is that I personally loved it, and I thought it was amazing. The songs, the stand-up comedy aspects, the realness behind it and everything, and just being able to, if for a second, even admit to myself or even think to myself that I know him or just even live through that with him was just amazing. And the production value, the editing, all great and everything. And all I can say is thank you, Bo Burnham. As kind of a closing piece to this, hopefully the day you guys are seeing this is the day I'm graduating from high school, which is a fucking terrifying thing to think about, that I'll be going out into the world and everything. But I'm terrified about the ceremony and everything, because, like, you know, I mentioned how Bo said he was, like, you know, got anxiety about being on stage. I'm gonna have to walk across the stage, and I want to make a full dedicated video to my graduation, but I didn't think it was necessary, and I'm just terrified to walk across the stage and everything full of a, you know, place of 500 people that I don't know at all. And all those parents, all those kids, and I don't know a lot of people in my senior class and everything, so it'll definitely be terrifying. And what's funny is during the graduation practice, there wasn't a mention of this could go well or just have fun. If you trip and fall, have fun. If anything happens, just have fun, laugh it off. It's all fun. It's everyone's day. Just be happy. No, they mentioned everything that could go wrong, so I feel lots of anxiety and everything. But I know after it will be a huge opening into a new world and a new life of just the past will be behind me, just who gives a shit what happens. I'm going to have fun no matter what and everything. I'm going to enjoy it and everything. And I do want to make a separate video talking about high school and everything and just the experience of my senior year and everything, but that will be for another time. But I'm just going to have fun at graduation and everything. And by the time you guys are seeing this, I'll probably upload this before, hopefully, I go to graduation and the ceremony. But I'm just going to have fun and just hang out with the very few people I know. But it doesn't matter that I know very few people, because knowing fewer people makes you more connected to them. I don't know, that's my philosophy, I guess. But yeah, this is my kind of talking of Inside and everything, Bo Burnham's Inside, and just babbling on about it and everything. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did make it to the very end, I would say comment like something like Inside, but who gives a shit and everything. It was a good special. I fucking loved it. Beautiful, just art in my opinion. And yeah, see you guys next time.